Hi, my name is Remy and this is a quick preview about a Kickstarter game called Cops and Robbers. You will see the link in the description of the video, so you can click on that to go directly to the Kickstarter project. The game, like I said, is called Cops and Robbers. This is a 2 to 6 player game. It's a card game in which everybody will play a robber trying to gain as much money as possible as quickly as possible while avoiding the cops. It's very much a risk and reward type of game, so you can try to gain a lot of money at once, but doing so you attract a lot of attention from the cops, so it's more dangerous, so you've got more chance of ending up in jail. Or you can try and play it safer, so you'll get less money every time, but then you just may end up winning in the longer run. The game is, I would say, very simple. The mechanic is slick. It's not complicated. I mean, all the rules fit on those cards right here, so it's very simple. It's a game I would recommend for families and friends. When I try to categorize games based on which crowd it should attract, it's always fun. Some games are harder to fit in a box. This one, I think, it's fairly simple. I mean, you could play with I guess old kids, so I would say around maybe 7 or 8 years old, no problem. There's not much text on the cards, so even though this game is, at least for now, is only made in English, it's very simple to pick up for pretty much anyone that knows numbers. Let's have a quick look at how the game plays out. The first thing you're going to do at the beginning of the game is, from the rubber deck, you're going to deal 5 cards to each player. So if we pretend that we're playing a 3-player games right now, just going to deal 5 cards to each robber, and then whoever draws, or I should say everybody's going to draw a random loot card just to know who's going to start the game. So whoever draws the card with the higher amount of money will start the game. As you can see here, we have 50,000 cards, 100,000, a lot of 50,000, nothing. We have 150, we have 200s, etc. So that's what's in the loot cards. The cop cards look like this, so you can draw either one cop, 3 cops, 0 cops, 2 cops. There you go. And the rubber cards, for now, like I said earlier, this is pre-production cards, so these don't have arts yet, but they will definitely have it in the final game. So, and I suspect that even the back of the deck will have heart. I'm not sure though. So you have a lot of different type of cards in the rubber cards. You've got some to create escape car with upgrades, so you can get away from the cops easily. And you've got bonus one-time use cards, and you've got special cards to steal money from the robber and do a bunch of things. So every player gets a hand of 5 cards at the beginning. The first player, let's say I start, will get to choose between 3 actions. So the first thing he has to choose is whether he's gonna loot. So he's gonna take a card from the loot pile or the bank and take it or place it face down in front of him. If he's gonna lie low, if he does that, then he basically simply grabs rubber cards and he gets to play upgrade cards. So on my first round, I'm gonna loot, so I can look at it. It's a very good card, and I put it face down in front of me. Nobody knows what it is, and I get to play any cards that are labeled getaway. I can play them right now in front of me, and they'll stay there. And the only restrictions are I can't play more than 1 car card. So I got my car, and I can upgrade it with nitro and a fresh coat of paint. So right now I've got a bunch of pluses down here, so I'm at +6. Those numbers will be important when you try to get away from the cops. So I've already talked about the loot action, which I did right here. I also get to grab an extra rubber card when I loot. The second action is lying low, which basically you don't grab new loot card, but you grab 2 rubber card instead, and you get to play cards in front of you like I just did. And the third action is the getaway action. So anytime you have at least 1 loot card in front of you, that loot is still at risk it's still at risk. So if you want to stash it safely away in your safe, you need to do getaway action. So every turn you only have 1 action you can do. Let's say everybody played the first turn. On my second turn, I could decide to get away, so I can hide this very precious card. If I do that, then I don't draw any new cards, but I'm gonna flip 1 cop card per loot card I'm trying to get away with. In this case, it's only 1 card, so I only flip 1 cop card. As you can see on those cards, there's a number of cops that are trying to stop you. If I had to draw more than 1, I would add them up, so I would have 4 cops. But since I only have 1 loot card, only 1 cop card is revealed. So I need to get away from 3 cops. And basically my ride here needs to beat whatever amount of cops are coming for me. So right now I'm at 6, the cops are at 3, so I'm getting away. Now, during that getaway, every other player, starting with the player on my left, has the chance of helping the cops find me or get to me, so I can't stash my money. Right now, the player on my left can't do anything because he's only got cards to steal drivers from me or steal upgrades and everything, so he can't do anything. The player on my right, let's look. Alright, so he can help the cops, or I should say try to make my life harder. So he could play banana. That's a -3, so he would play it right there. It's a 1-use card. So by doing so, he's lowering my score to 3, and there are 3 cops. Now, to get away from the cops, I only need to match whatever amount of cops there are. So even if he did this, I would still get away. And since he can't, he's got nothing else to reduce my score. So he wouldn't play that. He would keep it and just accept that I've gotten away or stashed one card. When you stash loot, you keep it face down, but you put it on the side of your of your playing space, so that you know it's not the same thing as the loot pile in front of you. So this is almost safe. I say almost safe because there are some cards, and I noticed it in the player to my left. There's the pick lock card. This allows you to steal 1 random loot from the stash of another robber. So let's say I just did my getaway. I would put this in the discard pile, and now it's the player on my left. So he could loot also. So he would gain 50 grand, grab a rubber card, and he can pick my lock. So he plays this on my stash. This allows him to steal 1 random card from my stash. I only have 1, so I know which one he's gonna take. If I had a card, I think he's got it. Yeah, there are some cards like Booby Trap that allows you to protect yourself against a picklock. I don't have it, so I can't do anything. So he takes it and puts it in his stash right away. And so this is all in his loot action, because the 1-use card can be played either in the lying low action or the looting action. So he would play that, and then the new card he grabbed is Safecracker. So he could also play that right away. I think I'm gonna do it. So this one, it's a one use also, but it says take 2 loot, counts as 1. So this means you grab 2 more loot cards. He can look at them, very nice. He puts them in his loot pile, but I would recommend you to put it maybe besides the loot pile, because this is you know what, I think the best way to do it, I'm not sure if they're gonna agree with me, Devious Games, but put those 2 cards over the Safecracker cards besides your loot pile, so you know those 2 cards only count as 1 when you're gonna try to get away. So if this player plays and then I play again, whatever we do, if the next turn the player to my left decides to make a getaway, then it would be as if he only had 2 cards even though he has 3. So right now it's not a good idea for him to get away because he's got nothing in his hand to help him, so he's got no plus cards and he's got no ride, so it's pretty much certain he would get caught. That's basically how it plays. I mean, I've run over it very fast. The rules are on the Kickstarter, so you can have a quick read. I mean, it fits on 6 playing cards, so both sides, but still, I mean, it's fairly simple. So have a look at the rules on the Kickstarter if you're interested. And the goal of the game, depending on the amount of players playing, is to reach a certain amount of money. So in the 3-player games, it would be $700,000. At first, we thought that it would take us quite a while, but then actually it turned out to play quite fast because a lot of the loot cards have $100,000 and over. So I mean, it goes fast. So that's pretty much how the game plays. Look at the rules for more details. Alright, so the pros and cons. Let's start with the pros. I mean, the mechanic is very slick, the game plays fast, there's not much of a downtime, even if you end up in jail for a turn. I mean, there's not much downtime, so everybody feels involved in the game. Of course, maybe some people may be, how can I say that? If you have friends that are easily offended or get pissed off because you play bad cards on them or prevent them from winning, I mean, maybe it's not the best game to play with them, but I mean, it's not a big problem. We certainly didn't have any problem playing it last night. The cards are nice. The art I think the art is good. I mean, it's cartoonish, but I think it fits with the game very well. Honestly, there's not much cons with the game. I mean, at this stage, it's still pre-prod, so maybe some of the things will change. I know I've spoken with Kieran at Devious Games, and he said that there was some minor changes that they were gonna do on the cards. So probably some icons and either keywords, maybe, I don't know. Well, I mean, there are already keywords on the rubber cards with the getaway and one use. So I mean, it's fairly simple to follow. The rules are, like I said, are simple, yet you can have fun with them. It's not a dumb game. So that's all good. Not much to say against it. At least in the Kickstarter, I mean, it's fairly cheap. So even there, it's all good. So in conclusion, I highly recommend this game to anyone looking for a great game to play with friends and families that maybe don't spend a lot of time playing board games. The mechanic is slick, the rules are simple, and at least in my experience, the missus likes it, so it's all good. Check the link below to get more info on the game, and see you next time.